Expanding the Strategy, Part 1. Welcome to Bonesaw Poker. I'm Brad. Time to open up our game. Let's go. We're going to start expanding our game. We're going to do it on the button. And we're going to do our matrix on Equilab instead of my handmade one. Hopefully this is big enough to see. If you're not familiar with this, go to pokerstrategy.com, download Equilab, and use this tool to run your equities. We're going to add in the suited connectors and suited one gappers to our button play that we can flat call or raise first in. And we're going to add in, well, the 9-8 should have already been on there. So we're going to add in the 8-7, 7-6, 6-5, and our one gappers, we're going to go 10-8, 9-7, 8-6, and 7-5 suited. So those are the hands that we're going to add to our strategy. So this is going to be part one of expanding our ranges. Expanding our game, however you want to say it. And what we're going to do is the button. And we'll get rid of that. Hopefully we can get another table. There we go. Got another table up. No thanks on that. Okay, that didn't work. Great. Okay. So we'll start out with 3 tables. So what we're going to do is expanding our strategy is going to start out on the button. And we're going to add in the 3 more suited connectors and 4 suited one gappers. Now, we can raise first in with them, and we can flat call with them. Doesn't mean we always will. It depends on the table dynamics of whether we think we can flat call. If we have somebody that's a bit aggro to our left, we don't want to get into it with that. King 10, that's not a flat call. We're going to let that go. It was King Jack was the lowest on the kings. Ace 8, we're going to fold that. Queen 8, we must have just posted. I've got no interest in that. We're going to check fold there. And we're going to check fold again. I don't care about that hand. So what we're going to do when we add those hands in on the button, if we don't have a lot of aggressiveness to our left and somebody's in ahead of us, we're going to see a flop with those hands. And the same with raising first in. If it folds around to us, it depends on who's to your left, because now we're playing speculative hands. And we got to be a little bit more careful, a little bit pickier with those. They're not just automatics. And we'll see how that affects our game. But it's fine. It's really, we're just trying to get to the point of it. It doesn't really matter what the dollar amount is. So we'll play these 4 tables. We'll wait 1 there. Okay. And we're back. Okay, we got another table up. Not a lot of tables going right at the moment. We'll fold that. Fold that. Fold that. Kings, we're going to 3-bet this. We're not folding this pre, especially if we're sandwiched by brokies. We'll keep an eye on Chewy on here. I'm not sure. I think I should have notes on him. Anytime we're in the small blind, or the big blind, we 3-bet larger. We're going to fold over here, and we're never letting go. King 3 is a fold. Two 3 is a fold. Jack 3 is a fold. No overs. We have the king of clubs. We 3-bet, so we're going to c-bet. And if he wants to go, we're just going to have to call it off. We're going to raise our ace king. We'll call a 3-bet with that. Now, what's he calling with? Does he have the ace of clubs? Let's go another barrel. Ace 4, we're going to fold there. We're going to fold that. Was he on the flush draw? I mean, we're pot committed at this point. We can't fold if he jams. So I guess we should have just put it in. Put it on him. But we're going to call it off. We're pot committed with a pair. Ace Queen held on that tough, huh? Wow. Sticky. Ace, if nobody's in ahead of us, we can play this. Okay. We're not going to call a 3-bet. And it's a really wet connected board. We do have ace high. We can c-bet this. We're definitely not putting any more money in this. This is an LMIP. This one we're going to raise, fold to a 3-bet. Yeah, we're going to let that go. We got our answer. Once they want to put the money in. Now, I will put in the description the just pay and fold there. The just pay video that talks about that. And I'll put in the video that talks about pot commitment. Write those down. Queen Jack of Hearts, we're going to call that. We can call this. That's a little loose. This is a fold. We can't. We don't have the right hands to continue with. We don't have the draw. We don't have ace high. We don't have a pair. We don't have king high. So that hand is effectively over. I like to bet monotone boards, especially when we have a pair. So we're going to do that. If he goes over the top, we're just going to let it go. Okay. And we're going to check that one back there. I got no interest in that hand. There we go. 9-7 is a fold. King 9, we're going to fold that. So we're still using the base strategy, but we're just adding those hands in. This is a raise fold. It's not part of our 3-bet hands. 3-bet hands are 10s plus, ace, king, ace, queen. Now, being in position, it's kind of hard to fold that to a 3-bet, but that's what we're doing. Okay, so wet board. There's 2 broadways. We do have a pair, so we're not going anywhere. We're early on that. Let's bet it for protection. Let's go 3/4 pot. And this one, if he goes over the top, we know he's got the ace. He could still have the ace. That king was a terrible card for us because all the 2 pairs are there. We're going to check that back. I mean, we're behind a ton. I don't see calling anything with this. We can call that. We're going to fold there. We're dead. 2-9. We're going to fold that. Jack 9. We're going to let that go. Oh, ace on every flop here lately. I see no reason to call that. Stay out of trouble. Ace Queen will 3-bet this in the small blind. We're going to 3-bet big. Oh, well, nobody's in ahead of us, so we're going to raise. We're out of position. He doesn't have that much left. Okay. All right, see what we got going here. Jack 10, that is a fold on the button. Well, so far we haven't run into any of those situations yet on the button. Got 4 tables up. But maybe we'll get some action. King 8 on the button, that's a fold. And really, with the more speculative hands, we're really looking to either pick it up with a c-bet or really hit the flop pretty good. We'd love to make a 5-card hand. Hopefully we don't get nailed with reverse implied odds. I do have a suited connector video that addresses that. I'll link that in the description. All right. Ace-3 of hearts, we can play that. Nobody's in ahead of us. We will fold to a 3-bet. Everybody seems pretty regular at these tables. Nobody's too out of whack. We'll c-bet that. We got the ace high. It's a typical c-bet board. Disconnected queen, that's a typical c-bet. And we're done with this hand, yep. That's a typical c-bet board, queen 6-5. That kind of is. The king changes it slightly. That pretty much is too. Even though the jack and the 9 are a little connected. You got to be a little bit worried about the turn card. But on the really disconnected boards, I mean, this one's kind of connected. You got to watch out for a spade or anything that interacts with the 6-5. But like a queen 7-3, that's a really disconnected board. I mean, you're not straightening it. There's really no 2 pairs in there. Not much. It's pretty tough. So, and if it's rainbow, it's pretty hard for the flush to get there. Those are your typical c-bet boards. Okay, we didn't get to play our hand there. We're going to fold 6-4 there. We're under the gun, but let's try it. Queen jack of diamonds under the gun. Nobody's been too out of line, so let's see what shakes. 10-7's a fold. 8-5 offsuit's a fold. It's a small 3-bet, and we're out of... Never mind. No, we got to stick with our plan that would have been a fold. Yeah, aces against kings. So that's why you stick with the plan. And, yeah, we'd be toast. And that's why... And I got to remember we're doing the new strategy where we're only calling a 3-bet with what we're 3-betting with. 10s plus ace, king, ace, queen. 3-5. Because they 3-bet so tight. And that's the reason for this tight strategy is to keep us out of trouble in those kind of spots, especially when you're out of position calling a 3-bet. That's just it's one of the worst spots in poker, really. You're calling a raise out of position when a guy's telling you that he's got a big hand, especially if they don't have bluffs. Ace queen, we're going to 3-bet this up. This hand definitely needs to 3-bet because it needs help. We need to win this a couple different ways. It's not suited. Okay, well, we got a 4-bet or fold. If it was suited, I would 4-bet it. Instead, I'm going to fold it. And for that much more, if I had ace queen suited, I would 4-bet it and we just get it in. I know we're not supposed to play it if somebody's in ahead of us, but if they limp, you can over limp with it. I mean, that's a little caveat there because that's ridiculous. All right, we caught a pair on a mid and low board. We're going to fold there. We should bet this for protection. Let's go over the top of this guy. Well, he's only got 25 left. We can't. We'll pot commit him. So we're just going to have to call it. That did not help us, but really what was going to. We're going to check it. It's about the worst run out you could run into. Maybe a king being up there would be worse, but let's just check it back, realize our equity. Yeah, got us on the river. Ace jack, we'll raise that up. 10-7, we'll fold there. Now, if I wasn't playing this tighter strategy and if he 3-bet, I would just jam this. But it's not part of our 3-bet strategy, so jack 3. And maybe that's where I get myself in trouble, where I jam, because it's not 100, it's 60 bigs. I just start jamming everything. 8-2. We'll fold there. Three bets wide. Okay. Queen 3. We're going to fold that. Eight, 2 of diamonds. We're going to let that go. Jack 6. We're going to fold that. So we opened up our range, and we didn't even run into the situation yet. We're halfway through. Ace Jack offsuit. This is a we can overcall with this. Pocket 7s. We can overcall with that. Or just call, I guess I should say. I don't have to say overcall every time. So we're going to call. Horrible flop for us for 7s. I really don't see pumping any money into this. I got 2 outs left. We're multi-way, so we do want to start putting money in. Probably went a little bit big for a multi-way pot. What's he calling with? He's got an ace. As it's not connected, there's not much going there. So let's go one more time. And this is the bad part about being out of position, is we have to act first. He gets to make a decision afterwards. If he jams, we fold. There we go. 10-8. Out of position, everything's just harder. And I got a position video. Put that in. And that covers that, because it's just harder. Everything's harder out of position. Okay, 4 tables, nothing going. Eight, 4 on the button. We're going to let that go. 9s in the big blind. We're going to call that. Jack 2, that's a fold. All right, let's watch, see what goes on up here. I should have put notes on this guy. I've played against him before, and I don't have notes. That was just being lazy. We're going to call this guy. He's type passive. He folded. Okay. We're going to 8-3, we're going to fold. King 3, we're going to fold. See if we can get a playable down here. King Jack offsuit. We're going to let that go. Or King 7, I mean. Just got to kind of know your cards when you play the game. Pocket 10s. We're going to 3-bet this. Nope, we're going to raise first in. We'll call a normal 3-bet. Nothing over 10. We could go over top, but 5-7. In the small blind, we're going to let that go. 4-7, we're going to let that go. Only one over. I'm not as worried about a jack as I would be an ace or a king. So we're definitely going to c-bet this because we have a pair and we can with our strategy. If he donks, we raise. And when we raise, if he jams, we let it go. All right. And this, if he goes over the top, we're going to let it go. Because he either has the jack. I don't think he's jamming a flush draw or going over the top of the flush draw. Okay. Jack 6, we're going to let that go. Ace 6, fold. Jack 2, fold. 4-7. Fold it all the way around. Ace King. All right, well, we're going to 3-bet this. And if he calls or if he jams or goes over top, we're just going to get it in pre. And I bet big. Normally I wouldn't, but if he wants to run it, let's run it. We're ahead of most of his range. And he's a type passive, so now if this guy does something, that would be a little different because he should stay out of the spot. So if he goes, what's going on here, people? Okay, so terrible flop for us. But we're going to 3-bet it anyways. And this is If somebody goes over the top, I'm just going to let this go because we're on a draw. We're going to raise that up. We still got one guy in. Do we have both have an ace? I don't think he has a 10. If he goes now, he has the 10, or he has a pocket pair. Now he's trying to figure out whether we got ace king or a pocket pair, which how the hell would he know? Fold that, and we're going to barrel one more time. And if he goes all in, we're just going to have to fold it. No sense throwing the rest of it in. That's just a punt then. And we're going to check this back. Pocket sevens. Well, lost a chunk there. But what do you do? That wasn't good. He held on tight with those sevens. Give him that. Well, it wasn't a scary board really for him. He had to just hope he wasn't up against a bigger pocket pair. And everybody just puts you on ace king. That time he was right. Because they can beat ace king. That's why they put you on ace king. They want to put you on a hand that they can beat so they can justify continuing calling, which was the right play that time. Okay. King 5, we're going to let that go. Ace 7, fold that. King 6, we're going to let that go. 10-7, fold there. 9-5, fold. Okay. What I had an open ender there. Jack's held on. 9-3, we're going to fold. Okay. Ace 9 of spades on the button. We can... No, we have to let that go. That's painful. Fold there. Ace king versus queen 9. Oops. Ace 2 in the big. We can play that in the big because we can play the whole range in the big. And that was pretty terrible. We do have an ace. We can continue. If we catch the ace, we don't have a kicker. If we catch the club, we got to pay for a river card. So I'm not going to pay here. Some people would disagree with that call. Yeah. Put that down in the comment section and we can discuss it. It's a fair argument. And when you go to do that, also hit the subscribe and the like if you would, please. 8-5, gotta let that go. And tell me what you think about this basic strategy, and if this is the first thing that you would add to your basic strategy, or if you'd add something else. If you would, what is it? Throw that down in the comment section. That should be interesting. Now, we could have probably added two things in. We could have probably added in cheap set mining. Thought about it, but it's like, well, let's just add one at a time. Jack 8, fold there. 3-4, fold that. Queen 5, we'll get out of that. 9-2, get out of that. And I think tightening up has kept me out of some trouble. Had two good sessions. The last session was mediocre, slightly down. This session is going to be pretty mediocre, but we're not getting clobbered either. So with this strategy, we're looking to put money in at our advantage, not at our disadvantage. This is a raise first in. It is not a, yeah, it is now in our new, because we can play the suited, whoops, never mind, full, because that would factor in with our suited one gappers. And nothing there. Jacks in the small blind, we're going to 3-bet. And if he piles, we'll just rip it in. Now, we want to 3-bet bigger in the blinds. 10, 11, 12, anywhere in there is fine. On the button, I usually do around 8. Same with the cutoff, because I'm in position, especially on the button. Okay, he folds. Ace 8 of diamonds. Yeah, I don't blame him for not calling. We're still not playing that in the small blind. Aces, that's a playable. Now this, the 10-9, this we're never folding pre. The 10-9, down the road when we add in hands that we just call, in the small blind, which will be way down the road, we'll add in other stuff before we do that. That's a hand I would add to. I think it's okay. This is a little early, so I'm going to fold it, even though it is technically a playable. It's not suited. It's money burner. King 10 off. I think it's okay to have some calls in the small blind, especially if the player on your left doesn't 3-bet much. You still don't want to have a ton of calls because you're out of position to everybody the entire time post flop. But I think there are some hands that it's okay to call with. Kings, never folding this pre. If they have aces, God bless. So let's see what happens. If somebody 3-bets, we're 4-bet jamming. I don't 4-bet jam aces. I 4-bet them, but not jam them. But kings and queens, I do. Oftentimes, ace, king suited, I will as well, depending on the opponent. Now, the ace, king suited, I might just call it. I might. And here we go. Let her rip. It is what it is. Nine three. We're going to fold there. I mean, kings are just a big hand. We can raise that one in. What's he going to do? We're going to fold 10-8. You let it go. We'll take that down. All right, we got a pair. We were the aggressor, so we're going to continue aggressing. And this is a typical C-bet board. What's he calling with? Does he have a jack? We're going to find out right now, because if he has a jack, he's going to tell us. If not, maybe we can pick up a fold. And there's something about this guy. I can't remember what it is. He's got an 8. I'm telling you, he's got an 8. Fives. Okay. Well, they're hanging on to the pocket pairs for dear life today, and it's costing me. Wow. They are sticky with the pocket pairs. So we're down 20 cents, 40 cents. It's pretty much nothing burger day. That is not part of our overcall. Okay, typical C-bet board. And we're going to do our typical C-bet. And we're in position. Queen 7-4. Ace 3. So they're sticky with the pairs today. So he's got a queen. We're going to call this one time, and this is our last money in pot. We really needed a 9 there. He's going to bet. We're going to let it go. Probably should have folded the first time, but whatever. We're going to raise this up. Kind of tough sledding today a little bit. Sevens. We're going to raise that up. 7-5. So he had the queen. I don't know. We should have let it go. Again, that is the kind of the basis of the strategy is don't pump money into. Okay, now we can play that in the big blind. Don't pump money into a dead hand. I'm going to check that. That's interesting. Okay, we're going to call this. Well, we caught the flush draw. So we're going to check call because it's 2 broadways. That's those very tough boards. 4-6, we're going to fold. We're going to call that. We got the draw. Did not hit us. So 11, 20%. So quarter pot. If he goes over 3-4 big blinds, we really are priced out because we don't have the pot odds to call. We can yell implied odds. I mean, we'd have the applied odds to call, but we don't really have the direct pot odds to call. Let's try it. Call here. And we whiffed. Yeah. Should have listened to ourselves. We're going to fold there. And we're just dead here. Probably should have let that go on the turn. Because when you do the math and you're being late a price, I paid more than I should. Should have just let it go. You can always yell implied odds for everything. So it looks like we're going to end up down about 50 cents. All right. So that is about our time. We didn't really get a lot of instances of it. We got to play a little bit more in the big blind since we added more hands. And we said we can play everything that's on there in the big if we choose. So we're going to let it go at that. Not the most exciting thing in the world. We're going to call that. We're going to start sitting out. And ace on every flop except for when we have it. This hand's done. Multi-way, we're done. He bets, we're done. We can't beat top pair on the turn. All right, we have a pair. We have equity. There's 7.5 in the middle. If he bets, I still don't. Let's bet it. We might have the best hand here. 3/4 pot. If they go over the top, we're done. They slow played their ace. Okay, we got out of all those. If he calls, what's he calling with? There we go. All right, thank you. That was 30 minutes of poker. I'm Brad for Bonesaw Poker. Thanks for watching. And remember, everything you want is on the other side of fear.